What's up, guys, and welcome back to my channel. Kamaru Usman has laid out ambitious plans for 2026, making it clear that he wants to end his career on his own terms and at the very top. Over the past several months, Usman has been openly campaigning for a title fight with Islam Makhachev, and with both fighters sharing the same manager in Ali Abdelaziz. That matchup is viewed as something that could realistically be pushed forward if the timing lines up. In a recent interview with UFC on Eurosport, Usman went a step further and spoke openly about his retirement goals. He revealed that he intends to walk away from the sport in 2026, but only after accomplishing something truly historic. According to Usman, the dream scenario is to capture UFC gold in 2 divisions and then retire immediately after, leaving no doubt about what he achieved. Usman explained that when people look back on 2026, he wants them to say they can't believe he actually pulled it off, not just winning 1 title, but claiming 2 championships and then stepping away from the sport for good. He emphasized that this isn't about chasing fights endlessly, but about reaching a final, definitive goal before closing that chapter of his life. When asked about the order of those title runs, Usman was very clear. He said the welterweight belt would come first, because it simply makes the most sense. That is still his division. He's still competing there, and he believes the move to another weight class doesn't happen without reclaiming welterweight gold first. For Usman, everything starts there. And before we continue, make sure to leave a like on the video and subscribe to help support the channel. Moving on to another news. Former UFC heavyweight champion Cain Velasquez has been released on parole from a California state prison after spending the last 11 months in custody. Velasquez was officially released on Sunday, marking a significant development in a long and difficult legal process that has followed him for several years. Velasquez was sentenced to 5 years in prison in March 2025 after pleading no contest to charges connected to a shooting that occurred in February 2022. At the time of sentencing, he was credited with 1,283 days already served, which played a major role in his early release on parole. The case stemmed from an incident in which Velasquez chased a vehicle during an 11-mile pursuit and repeatedly fired shots at it. The vehicle was carrying Harry Gollard, a man accused of molesting Velasquez's 4-year-old son. Gollard's father was also inside the vehicle and was struck and injured during the chase. Following the incident, Velasquez was granted $1 million bail and placed on house arrest in November 2022 while the case moved through the courts. Gollard continues to face a felony charge related to lewd acts with a minor, and Velasquez has also filed a civil lawsuit against him. Now officially out on parole, Velasquez was welcomed home by his family, along with a mariachi band, marking an emotional and symbolic moment as he begins the next chapter of his life. Moving on to another news. Tom Aspinall has found himself at the center of controversy after sharing footage of his recent double eye surgery, raising fresh uncertainty about if or when he may return to the octagon. While the footage was meant to update fans on his condition, it instead sparked backlash after a well-known eye specialist publicly questioned the severity of his injury. Ophthalmologist and retina specialist Lee Dong-ik took to social media to openly criticize Aspinall's claims, suggesting that the fighter exaggerated his condition. According to Dong-ik, the type of surgery Aspinall underwent does not match the level of damage being described. He explained that LASIK surgery is not an appropriate treatment for bilateral Brown syndrome and claimed that the procedures shown were instead consistent with a much simpler correction for myopia. Dong-ik stated that there are generally only 2 realistic approaches for the type of issue Aspinall referenced. One option would involve low-concentration steroid injections or normal saline treatment, while the other would simply be remaining calm and monitoring the condition over time. He pointed out that Aspinall shared images of his LASIK surgery, followed by photos of red eyes the very next day, which he said were entirely normal and expected. According to Dong-ik, post-LASIK redness is typically caused by simple irritation or a subconjunctival hemorrhage and not by serious ocular damage. He emphasized that such redness usually resolves on its own within around 10 days without any treatment. In his view, the surgery Aspinall had was routine and minor, not something associated with long-term injury or risk. The specialist went further, claiming that if Aspinall continued to describe the situation as severe damage, it could make him appear dishonest. Dong-ik warned that many professionals can easily identify the difference between corrective eye surgery and treatment for trauma, suggesting the facts do not align with the narrative being presented. He expressed personal disappointment, stating that he has been a longtime fan of the UFC and of Aspinall himself. Dongik said he hoped Aspinall would stop what he described as misleading claims, insisting that his eyes are fine. He reinforced his position by highlighting his credentials, explaining that he has spent more than 2 decades training as a retinal specialist and has performed nearly 5,000 eye surgeries. While Aspinall has not publicly responded to the accusations, the comments have added another layer of debate around his injury, his recovery timeline, and his future inside the octagon. Moving on to another news, the video quickly sparked mixed and heated reactions across the MMA community, with fans sharply divided over the situation involving Tom Aspinall. One fan argued that any doctor worth their reputation would never diagnose a patient from a distance, saying the entire situation felt like unnecessary drama being built up online. Another reacted far more bluntly, joking that Aspinall being called out by an actual doctor was embarrassing and hard to ignore. On the other side, many fans rushed to defend him. One comment pointed out that a fighter worth millions, with access to some of the best doctors in Europe, would never choose to undergo double eye surgery for no reason. That fan dismissed the accusations entirely, saying the idea that this was done for attention was ridiculous and insulting to basic logic. Another supporter criticized the doctor directly, saying that diagnosing someone based on a few photos does not inspire confidence and does not reflect professional medical standards. Some reactions were more skeptical, but still measured. One fan suggested that the moment Aspinall publicly said he could not see properly, he locked himself into a narrative that he now has to follow through on. According to that view, there is no easy way to walk it back, only to keep convincing people it is real. Another fan took a middle ground, saying something clearly seems off with the eye situation, but admitting that fans will probably never know the full truth. Overall, the debate has only intensified, adding fuel to an already tense and emotional discussion. Moving on to another news, Dana White couldn't help but laugh when asked about a potential boxing match between Joaquin Buckley and Terence Crawford, appearing genuinely stunned that the topic was even raised. The question stemmed from recent online chatter, where Buckley commented on boxing performances and suggested that some fights lacked excitement because fighters weren't chasing knockouts. That discussion eventually spiraled into talk of him calling out Crawford, with a few tweets going back and forth, and the usual MMA versus boxing banter taking over social media. As the situation was explained to him, Dana made it clear he hadn't heard about any of it and wasn't exactly happy that it was now on his radar. He reiterated that everyone already knows how he feels about crossover fights like this and that the idea made absolutely no sense. Dana sarcastically pointed out the absurdity of suggesting that Crawford, who recently made around $55 million, would suddenly decide to box Buckley or get involved in any kind of street fight scenario. The more the question went on, the more amused Dana became, shaking his head at the concept altogether. He emphasized how unrealistic the entire idea was and dismissed it as pure internet noise rather than anything grounded in reality. Dana wrapped it up by bluntly telling the reporter that they had officially earned the award for the dumbest question of the night, congratulating them as the room reacted. Moving on to another news, Alex Pereira has officially called out Ciryl Gane as he looks to capitalize on the current situation in the heavyweight division. With Tom Aspinall sidelined for several months and no clear return date in sight, Pereira believes now is the perfect moment to step up and chase an interim heavyweight title. The matchup gained serious traction after it was leaked by Oscar Willis, who reported that the UFC is planning to book Pereira versus Gane on the Miami card ahead of the White House event. Since that report surfaced, Pereira has leaned fully into the idea, publicly pushing for the fight and framing it as a massive moment for the division. Speaking on a recent Portuguese podcast, Pereira explained that the matchup makes complete sense on every level. He described it as a true mega fight at heavyweight, one that delivers both star power and championship stakes. Pereira made it clear that if he moves up to heavyweight, it has to be for a title opportunity. He added that unless the UFC somehow offers him John Jones, which he believes is very unlikely, then Gane is the most logical and deserving opponent available right now. With Aspinall out of action, Pereira sees an interim belt fight as the natural move, and he has made it known that he wants that fight specifically at the White House event. The timing, the storylines, and the stakes all line up in his view, and he believes it would be a huge moment for fans and for the heavyweight division as a whole. Adding even more hype to the potential card, Justin Gaethje is also expected to be part of the White House event. Alongside him, The top American star, who currently holds a title, is rumored to be preparing for a possible unification bout against Ilia. If those plans come together, the card would feature multiple championship-level matchups across different divisions. Pereira emphasized that he respects Gane as a striker, calling him fast, dangerous, and highly skilled on the feet. Still, he believes the division needs a statement fight right now. He closed by saying he is ready, motivated, and eager to make the heavyweight division exciting again, making it clear that he wants Gane next, and he wants it now. Moving on to another news. Dana White has revealed that the matchmaking process for the highly anticipated UFC White House event is effectively done after months of deflecting questions and downplaying progress. For a long time, Dana had insisted that no real discussions had taken place regarding the card, repeatedly telling reporters that nothing had been decided. That tone shifted during a press conference tonight when he admitted that the framework for the event is already in place. Dana explained that the team has been working through multiple options and that the matchmaking process has been underway for some time now. According to him, 2 different versions of the card have been laid out, and significant progress was made as recently as last week. At one point, he even stated that the White House card was done and ready to go, which immediately sparked excitement and speculation among fans and media alike. When pressed for details, however, Dana refused to reveal any specifics. He declined to name any fighters, confirm potential matchups, or say how many title fights the card might include. Each attempt to extract more information was met with a firm refusal, making it clear that announcements are still being held back despite the progress behind the scenes. Shortly after those comments, ESPN MMA reporter Brett Okamoto provided clarification to calm the growing buzz. According to Brett, Dana later clarified that the White House card is not fully finalized yet. Instead, the UFC has made substantial progress and has clear options prepared. Dana and his team are scheduled to fly to Washington to continue discussions directly with the White House, suggesting that final approval and logistics are still part of the process. For now, fans are left knowing that the foundation is set, the direction is clear, and the biggest remaining question is simply when and how the UFC will choose to officially reveal the card. Moving on to another news. Dana White didn't hold back during the press conference and went off on Eddie Hearn after Hearn publicly called the Zuffa belt cringe. Dana said he saw the comments and made it clear he completely disagreed with the criticism. According to Dana, he doesn't look at Eddie Hearn as some kind of visionary figure in combat sports, despite his long history in boxing. He explained that being around a sport for decades doesn't automatically mean someone has real ideas or the ability to change it. Dana compared Hearn to politicians, saying they often stay in their lane, follow every rule, and simply ride along with whatever already exists. In his view, that approach eventually turns people into part of the problem instead of the solution. He stressed that he wasn't trying to sit there and just trash Eddie Hearn for no reason, but he felt the criticism needed to be addressed directly. Dana then pointed out that Eddie Hearn works for his father and suggested that he hasn't truly come in with a bold or original vision of his own. From Dana's perspective, that lack of vision is exactly what separates boxing's current leadership from what the UFC is trying to build. He emphasized that the UFC does have a vision, and that vision is focused on changing the entire sport from the ground up. He acknowledged that people who benefit from the status quo in boxing naturally don't like those changes. Still, Dana said that doesn't stop anyone else from continuing to do their own thing. If boxing promoters believe their system is as strong as they claim, they should stick with it and see where it leads. Dana closed by saying he's going to keep doing his thing, and everyone else is free to do the same now. Moving on to another news. 2 massive fights are already being discussed behind the scenes for the upcoming UFC White House event, and the rumors started circulating just hours after Dana White confirmed that matchmaking for the card had begun. According to reports from Spanish journalist Alvaro Colmenero, the UFC is planning a blockbuster main event that would see Ilia step in to face Justin Gaethje. While nothing has been made official, the idea of that matchup alone has already sent fans into a frenzy. At the same time, another major storyline is developing around the lightweight title picture. Islam Makhachev is expected to defend his belt on a later card, potentially against a welterweight contender moving up. Right now, Ian Garry is being viewed as the leading candidate for that opportunity. Garry himself has added fuel to the speculation, openly hinting that a fight with Makhachev could be next. In previous interviews, Garry laid out exactly how seriously he would take that challenge. He explained that if he were matched with the champion, he would travel to Georgia to train with elite local wrestlers and judoka. believing that environment is essential when preparing for someone with Makhachev's skill set. He spoke passionately about seeking out southpaw wrestlers and anyone who could help replicate that style, making it clear he was willing to fully immerse himself in the preparation. Adding even more intrigue, Garry recently posted a photo from Heathrow Airport showing TBI listed on the departure board. While no official announcement has been made, the timing has fans connecting the dots. Between the reported main event plans and Garry's not-so-subtle hints, the pieces appear to be lining up for two potentially massive fights that could define the UFC White House era.